As part of building my new Overlander, I'm also re-looking my camp setup. And here I'm calling on the well-known YouTuber Harry from Fire to Fork for some campfire cooking advice.
I think we should go up to your car and go through what you've got already and then see what else we can chuck in. What do you think?
I think that'll embarrass me.
I'm Andrew St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and travelling to the remotest parts of the world. These videos are made possible by contributions from Patreons. Join the Patreon family now.
I'm spending the evening with Harry Fisher, who is a YouTuber. He's done very well. His channel's grown remarkably quickly because he's rather good at what he does. Well, it appears as if he's very good at what he does. And what he does is he cooks on a campfire. That's what he's about. And so he's going to help me today go through some of my fire cooking equipment and make me dinner. And I'm going to watch him do it. I've brought some of my equipment, my cooking equipment with me. Okay, and gas cooker, which I might be retiring if I go induction cooking.
Yeah,
but that is
makes sense. It's a lot of bulk and a lot of weight and things too.
Well, I'll be able to do a calculation of what's heavier, what's lighter. I know induction is more expensive. We know that.
Yeah.
But is it more convenient? Is it less convenient? Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
So I might be replacing that with induction. Okay. That's the partner stove, the partner steel gas stove.
Okay.
Nice, eh?
It is.
We just turn it around so people can
really
see it.
Made. Beautiful aluminium.
Really nice.
Is it handmade or something?
It's handmade.
It looks handmade.
It does. It's got these little windbreaks here, which are pretty effective.
It's a very nice looking stove.
The whole thing comes out for cleaning.
Stainless.
Yeah.
Aluminium. It all looks really good quality.
Does, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is lighter than I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had it for several years and I use it on every single trip, and it's first class. It's a first class piece of equipment.
Okay.
And part of me is kind of sad to say a ta-da to it, but hey, you never know.
Yeah. I suspect this will retire, and I assume you suspect this is going to retire.
Yes.
And you're going to be induction.
Very possible.
Which means you need induction compatible
cookware.
Cookware.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, it has to be a ferrous metal for the conductivity to work. Otherwise,
I have no idea about induction cookware.
Okay, that's
I'll just put
you can't use aluminium. You can't use copper. It has to be a ferrous metal. Has to react to a magnet.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Well, there's our sort of.
Yeah, that's why it gets hot instantaneously. It gets as hot as quickly as gas does.
Okay.
It's almost instantaneous.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, all right, I'm going to put that down there.
Okay. So now, when you're cooking,
yes.
If you're reheating pasta or reheating a curry or something like that, you're going to use induction, or some sort of a gas stove.
Yeah, generally speaking, if we do a lot of moving everyday type camping.
Yeah.
Where induction will really come into its own because it's really quick, really fast. Turn it on and warm up a meal or prepare a meal. With a bit more time to spare, yes, we'll have a fire. We'll cook something on the fire. So I always carry my fire grid. I'll show that to you now.
Yeah.
And then I will do a mix of something on the gas, something on the fire. Yeah. Probably meat on the fire, generally speaking, and a rice or something like that on the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
honestly, I know I only use fire, but it's the more sensible option is actually to do that if you carry gas.
Yes.
So the only difference is I don't carry any other kind of a cooker.
Yes.
But for you who does,
yes.
It makes if I was just boiling water, I have no problem with people boiling water on induction or fire or gas or anything like that. It makes no difference to the flavour of your meal.
But I don't have it here. I should go and get it. I have a kettle, a very old, very black kettle. If I've got a fire, I will boil water on my fire.
Love that.
Almost always. This is a cooking grid.
That is
many years old. That's a simple triangle. Okay. It's exactly the same as what you're using.
That is
This was invented by a lady. She's gone to live in the great camping ground in the sky. She developed cooking grids that were collapsible.
Under a camel thorn tree waits Charlotte du Toit from Johannesburg. Charlotte is well known to many South African campers, making a living designing and developing camping gear, many examples of which are seen in this film. Charlotte's designs are universally respected in the outdoor industry.
No sign.
And this was one of her prototypes that she gave to me, and I use it. Your one is very slightly bigger.
Charlotte is well known for her ability to squeeze lots of equipment into small spaces.
And we're going to talk about a kitchen.
Yeah.
Most people need pots, pans, braai grids, plates, cups, mugs, cutlery, all sorts of things into a system that's easy to get to, easy to work with, and easy to contain. If I stop on the side of the road, I don't want to unpack half my vehicle to make a cup of tea. It's already accessible through the cubby over here. So if you want to see individual things that I've got in here,
What's in there?
we can look in there.
What's in there?
Lots of braai grid. Little scuttle, collapsing handle. Used to have little lugs on the bottom here. I grinded those off so they can fit into a system here. I've got a little tripod that I can raise. I have my fire on. Braai grid, handles collapse. A toaster. Braai grid there. The handles can collapse. It's all in stainless steel. It's very easy to clean. And it goes back in the bag like so.
Okay, show me your leg stand. That's quite nice.
The leg stand's very cool because it's got multiple stages of adjustment. So you just put that out like this. You can lock it if you like. Some people do. I actually never do. I just find it easier without. But you lock it in place, and then exactly the same as yours. You pull the handles out, and it can go.
So you've got two heights.
Inside like that.
You've got two heights.
Yep,
Okay.
But it can also do this. So, sorry, you have to take the lock off. This is why I don't use the lock.
Okay.
I find that the widths, there's no one perfect width.
All right.
You adjust it for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to offset something, so
Yeah.
say you've got a half chicken on there, or a leg of lamb or something.
Oh, right.
You can offset it,
Oh, that's good.
and you can move it off
So you-
to the side of the fire. You don't have to have it over
Yeah.
the fire.
So you have so much more control over the heat.
Exactly. So you can slow
That's
roast
nice.
something on that.
That's something I've never thought of, because obviously that won't do it. But this is a little bit easier to adjust the height, and every year or so you have to these jam, so you have to be rough with it and get a
Yep.
pair of pliers, and they jam up. But that's 20 years old.
Yeah, and I've just been designing a new one with Osbraai.
Oh, okay.
New design of
So it's called Osbraai.
Osbraai, which is obviously,
An Australian South African
well, the owner's name's
hybrid.
Clinton Pretorius, if that's enough.
Okay, it's South
information.
African. Got it.
He lives in Australia, but so this is our one that we've been designing. So it's a little bit heavier duty, and you can put small things like little prawn pots.
See, I can't put my kettle on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go and get my kettle.
Fuel stoves, and then the fuel for the stoves.
Fuel for that lamp, which type?
Benzene.
Benzene, okay.
Yeah, I carry benzene in containers like this. And then in a system of my pots, again in stainless steel, there's my kettle. I try and shield things. I don't want anybody to wash my kettle because the black is good for it. Conducts the heat better, and the handles simply fold down.
Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm going to assume it's not the bag it came in.
No, it's not the bag it came in. There you go, you see?
Beautiful little kettle.
Beautiful little kettle.
That's a really nice little kettle.
Really nice little kettle. So that, I would always have to go and get that,
Yeah.
which you can see is a bit grubby. It actually needs to be on the fire. We'll put it on the fire and give it a clean later, but I would do that and make myself a cup of tea. That's nice. I like that very much.
Yeah. It is nice. Yeah. I'm really happy with that. I'm quite proud of that design. It doesn't warp as much, and we've left these quite loose so that they do
Yes,
actually.
I
You don't
definitely
get
like
such height
that.
adjustment, but
Right.
they don't bind up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now there is, while we're on this topic, we'll go
Yes.
back to the induction stuff in a sec. Now I assume you don't want something like this, but I just thought I'd bring it out so that you can see it.
Don't assume anything.
Night falls gently round us. The children prepare the fire, and then John and Sue practice their art.
Yeah, I've had similar ones, and I lost. I had some kits stolen. It was very similar. It was square, and it was not as nearly as heavy as that. It was actually quite lightweight, but it was the same principle. Two bride grids we've been using on the trip. This is called a Kalahari Joe. Comes in a couple of sizes. The great thing about it, of course, fold away legs. It's stainless steel, which is by far the best material to use for a bride grid because it cleans easily. And this one basically is a traditional bride grid, but folds away and it's easy to pack. We had a very pleasant, if a little bit wet night. It's still raining here in the Kalahari last night. And today we're heading off to further west to one of the pans in the area. This is typical Kalahari pan country. Is that it had the 4 legs.
Yeah.
3 is actually better than 4.
3 is more stable.
It is more stable than 4. It is.
That might not make sense to people, but 3 is more stable than 4 because it's got less. It's less susceptible to wobbling from undulation.
Yes.
Less legs on the ground.
A 3-legged table doesn't generally do this, but a 4-legged table will often do that. So that is true.
So
that's fairly heavy.
it's quite heavy, yeah.
Yeah. I would probably I might think twice about that. But then again, it's only ever 2 of us travelling,
And
that's plenty for 2.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. So because I've got a bigger one of these, which is
So you got the bigger one, yeah.
I've got a bigger one
Okay.
which has more adjustment and more
Yes.
everything. So that's got 4 levels of adjustment.
That's nice.
It's really nice.
That is very nice.
Very sturdy. So this is a big sturdy beast. So it's got big hooks on the front for doing things. I can get almost 2 whole chickens in there if I need to. But it's very. You can put a big pot on there. You can put a camp. This is almost a replacement for that big grid. This will do what this does, and this all in one unit.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you can actually get the small travel bry inside here.
Oh, okay.
For packing. So you have one bag with everything in it.
Everything's in it.
Yeah. So look, I mean, there are some options. This is a really good one-size-fits-all to just cover all bases. However, I think that the number of times you'll actually use, in your case, where you'll mainly, I'm again assuming, but I would suspect your main thing you'd be doing would be meat in this.
Yes.
Maybe some veggies, but rarely.
Maybe, but rarely. It's mostly meat, chicken, that kind of thing, or a fish, and that does the job.
And that's it.
I'm not really, I don't.
Real estate was never really an issue.
No, and that has kind of served us well. So.
Whereas if you're cooking for a family, it's a completely different
story altogether.
Story. Yeah. And that's where these are amazing. This has more versatility because you can go really high, you can go really low.
Yeah, I do like that height adjustment a lot. Yeah, it is very nice.
It is very.
Because that's I haven't watched you actually cook. I'm going to watch later and I'm going to take notes. But I always will take the coals out and have a separate place next to my main fire where I'm cooking, so I can add coals to it.
And almost always that's the right way to do it.
That's right, okay.
But the offset, the front, having things on the front, that's where it's a complete game changer because you can move it back.
Yeah.
And you just have your fire. So it makes it really quick and easy. You're not
so you don't actually... Oh, okay. Well,
I remove the meat from the fire, so I just move it further back and have it vertical.
Okay, this is interesting. We'll watch or take notes. Take notes later. Okay.
So yeah, look, I think the best. My recommendation for the combination of for your fire cooking thing would be this, the trivet, and the travel bry.
Yeah.
That's my sort of.
That together, you're basically set.
Yeah.
For fire cooking.
Now there is one other thing, but I actually don't think that it would work in your setup at all. We're going to cook with it tonight. and that's a camp oven. But I'm going to say it doesn't work with induction. Oh no, it actually probably would work with induction because it's magnetic.
No, that kind of thing I would reserve for fire. I just would.
Yeah, I agree.
I would.
I wouldn't want to put that on induction.
No, it's the wrong.
It's just, this is a fire cooking device. Ignore the outside of it. It's rusty, but the inside's clean. These are spun steel, so they're not like the old cast iron ones. They're 75% lighter.
Okay.
So it's made of the same stuff as a wok.
Wow, that's light.
So it's bulky, but it's light. So and obviously you can store things.
You put stuff inside.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to use that tonight?
I'm going to use that tonight.
Okay. What are we having tonight?
We're going to have steak with salsa verde and duck fat roast potatoes with asparagus.
Sounds terrible.
Awful. It'll be terrible.
Oh, it'll be terrible.
Yeah, that'll be on my channel if you're interested.
Might put it on mine too.
I think it's a good idea.
I'll put mine up before you put yours. All right. Are we done?
I think we're done. Look, the pots and pans side, I can't really comment on because it's whatever work.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not.
The fact it's a pan.
I was more interested in exactly what you're trying to help with, and that is doing interesting stuff in a different way on a fire.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, really.
I think one thing that is lost today is the dinner and a show, and there is nothing more entertaining for everyone at camp than that sizzle and that drama and the smell and the everything of cooking on fire.
Yes.
And it gets lost and it becomes quite sterile, camp cooking, particularly with induction. It really does sterilize cooking. I think if you combine the two,
yes,
you can still have some.
You see, I agree with you in terms of the sterilization. I completely agree with you. Basically, what you're doing is you're swapping the hiss of a gas stove for the hum of an inverter.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the sound.
Yeah.
It's what is amazing about a fire. It crickles and it crackles, and then when the meat is starting to cook, it makes noise that is so inviting.
Yeah.
There's nothing inviting about an 50 hertz hum.
Not at all.
Okay, so that's again part of the experiment, is to see. I might loathe and detest it, but I might just think it's so fast and so it's worth it.
Look,
and we will always make a fire when we can. If we're just doing a quick stop because we're on our way, we might not. Quick meal, sleep, get up really early, carry on driving. But when we're in camp, if we are allowed to, if there's firewood and it's not fire season, we'll make a fire, no question.
The bush telly is just it's irreplaceable. There's nothing
in the world like it. It's why we do it.
Yeah, I believe there are two things you can watch indefinitely: fire and water for humans.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Great shows.
Or I thought of a third thing. It's called Queen's Gambit. It's on Netflix.
It's so good. It's such a bloody
so good.
You must say you make this cooking on fire look very easy.
I actually find it very difficult to cook on fire on camera.
It makes it a lot more difficult while filming.
Yeah. Off camera, I actually find it really easy. On camera, I find it quite challenging.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like that on your films.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think when you don't do anything else, in the same way that you make beautiful videos look easy to shoot, even just this afternoon I've been watching you shoot and you make it look quite easy. So I think
but the images are horrible. So I haven't tasted your food and you haven't seen the video.
No, that's true. I've seen a lot of your videos.
Now, if you want to know how to prepare the meal that we are about to eat, you're going to have to pop over to Harry's channel, because I'm not going to show you that part, because I'm not a cooking show and will never be a cooking show. But I will be part eating show. This is a 3-camera shoot.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of Sony. There's like an ad for Sony.
Before the days of Instagram influencers doing YouTube stuff, When have you ever heard of a one crew multi-camera shoot?
Pretty well never. Roast potatoes and salsa verde and some asparagus on the side. Now, before everyone goes mental from America.
I'm just a stranger to you now. At the end of my day, wish I could take back the ways that got me.
Bear in mind it's very cold out here, so usually that will be a little bit further from a fire. And that's it.
Strung out in the heartland.
A little bit of radio stand. We'll top it off with a little bit of salsa verde. Typical bush presentation, nothing too fancy. Chuck on some asparagus, and then it's time for gratuitous B-roll. Oh, all right.
If you don't mind, I'm going to use my.
Oh,
I even use it at home.
okay. Opinel. I love
knife.
it. Go for it. Please do.
Oh, this looks fantastic.
Let's have a quick try. So, the potatoes look
Try for
crunchy.
the camera.
Let's have a try for the camera. Crunchy. The steak is
Perfect.
perfectly cooked, I think.
Perfect.
It's got enough seasoning. Maybe a touch of pepper, but I'm happy with that.
Man, that's good. Crikey, that's good.
All right. Now,
Do you mind if I sit here and eat
please do.
while you do your presentation?
I'll do my presentation.
I'll try not to, should I turn off my microphone because I might chew and ruin your sound?
I'll just do it. I'll be 1 second. I'm just going to do the outro. All right. Thank you so much for watching. In the next episode, I'm going to be interviewing Andrew on the first time in a long time, a fire to talk. See you then. Cheers.
Whoa. This is, I must say I am hungry,
Yeah.
which is important, but all right. Good morning, everybody. I trust you enjoyed last night's little festivities and meal. It was really good. Learned something about fire cooking, and I'm going to get a little bit of extra kit. Not a lot actually, but a few little extra bits and pieces for cooking. The main thing really is that my pots, I've always used lightweight aluminium for as my. In fact, it's not aluminium; it's titanium. Don't know if that'll work. Don't think it will. And my frying pan is aluminium. I have to change that for use both on an induction cooker and gas and fire. So that's the one thing I have to do with my cooking gear. I slept there last night in my very, very luxurious penthouse suite, and it was awful. It's terrible. I'm not 20, so it's fine. I actually had a good night's sleep, but if I was on a long trip, there's no ways I could do that for a long trip. It would really ruin the trip for me.
And November, of course, is Perth 4-Wheel Drive Adventure Show. I'll be there at the Egon stand, together with the Range Rover in all its glory, and the Troop Carrier with the new rooftop conversion completed. And at 11 o'clock each day, I'll be sharing some stories of some of my adventures. I've been driving for 4 days and have found myself in a situation that I have prepared for. While the Range Rover is running well, organising accommodation for tonight has been impossible. I'll have a little bit of merchandise and I'll be there to just chat to people. Okay, and the next time you'll see that will be the build that Rob is doing. I saw a prototype last week. I'm very excited about it. If you like the video, well, like it with your finger. And of course, if you're not a subscriber,
In the
what have you got to
morning,
lose?
everything is spent, and I make my way back home. What the wires couldn't catch fails to give certainty. And the world serves around, yet you all see.
That sound is the motivation for this trip. A book by Mark and Delia Owens called The Cry of the Kalahari. The cry they talk about is the cry of the jackal. That cry. The other cry they write about is the cry that the Kalahari should remain the pristine wilderness that it is. And it is quite an extraordinary place. Without question, my favourite place on earth. This time I'm not just carrying one little camera, as you can see. I'm carrying two cameras. This camera and that camera. Now if you turn around to look at you, you're just going to see the sunrise, so just stay where you are. Okay, well, this is quite a thing. A two-camera shoot. Two cameras, one crew. Thank you so much for watching. These videos are made possible by contributions from Patreons. Join our Patreon family now.